Hey, random people out there on the internet. So you've been following along. I've been working on this octagonal table for about a month. It's just about wrapped up, so here in a little bit we'll take a look at it. But first, I want to do a real quick recap of what we've done. Okay, my desire was to use up a lot of the scraps and reclaim material that I had laying around, which was quite a bit. So first thing I did, I had a lot of 2.5 inch by 56 inch pieces of plywood strips. They came from a bed. In any event, so what I did here is I went ahead and I cut two edges at 22.5 degrees and two edges at 45 all the way around to create what kind of looks like a brick. So we'll see how that's pertinent here in a little bit. Then around the base, I had this, which also came from somebody's 4-poster bed they didn't want anymore. And I used this as trim around the bottom of my octagonal table, which, again, use what you have on hand. That's the whole theme here. I found what I believe is oak table top that was at Goodwill for $19.99 in tax. And it was 1¼ inches thick and about 3 foot square. That's going to be the top of my table. I cut it into an octagon, and again, we'll see that here in a little bit. And I used some of the other scraps to create cleats around the inside of that table so that it'll sit down on the octagonal base. You'll see how all that comes together here in a few minutes. Then, because I didn't trust my octagonal base to stay together all by itself, I got some MDF and I cut 22.5 degrees and 22.5 degrees and put this at every joint on the inside of the table so as to give it some stability. And then finally, for the top of the table, these are the cutoffs from the 1¼ inch tabletop that, again, I think it's oak. I sanded them down and did some restaining on them, and this becomes the top of that so that it has some kind of dress and you don't see the 3/4 inch plywood that was used on the table popping through there. And then finally, there's a container on that table, and we're going to show that to you here in a little bit. That container, again, made out of some 1/4 inch MDF I had laying around, and cut it and kind of put it on the inside and whatnot. Again, you're going to see that here in a few minutes, but you get an idea that the entire build was made out of nothing but scraps and reclaimed material. Furniture that had no longer served its purpose and that sort of thing. Excuse me. Anyway, at the end of the day, this table is going to be made out of 122 pieces. Each one of them cut at least 4 times, some of them as many as 8 times. So there's probably 500-600 cuts that went into this, along with the routing that needed to be done. So when you get a look at it, just keep in mind, it's all scraps, and I had to do a whole lot of cutting and routing to get what you're going to see. So let's step inside and let's take a look at how this turned out for us. Hey, and we're back playing a little game of Farkle here with the wife. Nice solid table. How'd you do, baby?
Yeah.
Well, that's 1,000. It's 100, but who's counting? 200. And 200 it is. Or no, 600. Sweet. All right, my turn. Come on, aces. I got 1.
3.
And I got 3 threes. And I got a 5. 300, 450. All right, so that is 450 to 600. Go ahead. Uh-oh. I smell a Farkle. Well, that's not good. Look at that, 3 aces and 1,050. So anyway, You getting tired yet, baby?
Yeah, I'm tired.
All right, well, let's put this up, shall we? Oh, goodness. It's always a pain in the butt to store things around here, but you know what? How about we do it this way? We'll just put all this right in here. All right, ready for the next game whenever it's time for the next game. Solid as a rock. So anyway, that's my table, all 220 pieces or 120 pieces of it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. It's always nice to have more visitors. Thanks to my wife, Paula Faye, my cameraman, Lewis, and from Mustang Ridge, it's the Wood Bandit. Have a great day. Be safe.